with Sly. What's up?
Not much, and you are.
I am Chat Noir.
There we go.
Yeah, you can refer to me as Noir as not to confuse the chat. I know that was a problem last time.
That sounds very amusing, actually.
Yeah, I think I was with Guff, and he would say, "Yeah, chat," and then people in the chat would be slightly confused. So yeah, we're looking at Lightbringers and Breakthrough here. Lightbringers at 2-1, Breakthrough at 0-3. Breakthrough searching for that win. Maybe even some maps to winning me, get some experience. Getting some map wins here. What do you think? Looks like we will be finally entering the game. Hopefully. Yeah, looks like it. We're hopping into Bonnie for the first map. Traditionally a dive map, it'll be interesting to see what the teams run here.
Yep, looking at it, it's going to be that dive, possibly with the Farmer C on the Breakthrough side. Let's see what Lightbringers locks in for their DPS, but the comp from Breakthrough is very, very annoying to deal with, trying to get both of those DPS down. Hanzo with his mobility and Farah obviously having a Mercy pocket.
Yeah, definitely a lot of damage that potential here. If DPS and Call 911 can get those shots landing, that'll be definitely a huge problem.
Good old goats. Good old goats with an looking to definitely get those kills off of the purple more than anything else. Breakthrough can definitely do this if they play their angles correctly around this first point on Numbani. It'll just be a question to see if both of their tanks can avoid getting blown up once they inevitably get purpled.
Yeah, I think the key here will be over on the side of Lightbringers if their Diva can eat the anti-nade coming over from Dragonic, because the anti-nade is the counter to Goats right now.
Everyone dies.
Well, we'll see where they're going. Gonna give it that anti-nade as possible going underneath here. Neuter gonna start poking a little bit, staying very healthy as the nade's thrown out, but the purple coming in is going to get the Diva demech fairly quickly. Meanwhile, the Pharah continuing the range damage. They're gonna trade Diva mechs, but the comp Breakthrough has here doesn't have a lot of point contest ability. They need to get these picks early, otherwise the Goats comp is going to eventually force them up it as they have done in this fight. A lot of damage done by Neuter and DPS, though, is going to maybe allow them to have an early contest here on point 2.
Yeah, that early pickoff onto Call 911 over on the Pharah was huge, because a huge counter to Goats is that Pharah, but if she can't get anything done or is killed early, then Goats will just run over your team with no way of getting stopped.
Always interesting to see here how the Brigittes decide to use their rally. Are they going to use it for the fight to maybe soak some of that Pharah splash damage as they go in, or use it as in the fight? But Coxbox is just going to run up to Dragonic and charge the Ana, and that's going to be a quick push forward here as Lightbringers continues to roll this map so far with some snowballing ultimates. Gonna have to see what Breakthrough can do to stabilize here with their one last fight on point 2.
Yeah, Breakthrough seemed a little split up there. You saw Neuter over on the Winston sitting on point by himself while the rest of his team was fighting Lightbringers. It'll be interesting to see if maybe they can sync up better the tanks and get a good dive in.
Gonna initiate with the ult. I do like that. Split up Lightbringers a little bit with the purple on the Rhine, see if they can capitalize on that damage. The barrage completely eaten by the Diva, and the following grab here is going to result in a bunch of kills for the nanoed Rhine, and that is going to be another fight win for Lightbringers.
Yeah, and you'll see Breakthrough switch over to the Ryan. Probably the Zarya coming out from Rouse for this last point especially is a Ryan Zarya point, and it looks like they'll be switching towards a Goats kind of comp. A little surprised they didn't switch a little sooner.
If not a ton of no Brigitte means there's no burst heal here. They're gonna need to make these fights happen very quickly with just a Zen Lucio for heals. So get that Discord on the Rhine and blow him up immediately. Let's see if they're able to do that. This Diva Bomb is going to force them back a little
Big
bit
Diva
though,
Bomb.
and kicking off both supports is gonna end this fight before it's really even begun.
Gosford does use his ult late there, and maybe will escape. Yeah, she will escape with her life. Going into this fight, though, no ultimates on the side of Breakthrough. The
Yeah,
grab coming up for Lightbringers.
they did have that comp swap, and they haven't had enough time to build up enough of them yet. Another grab coming out from Dork, keeping them off the payload, and that is going to be a very quick roll from Lightbringers on attack.
Yeah, I think honestly, Breakthrough just didn't seem very well connected. When they were running dive, you never saw them jump on a target together. Their tanks were pretty split up, and they weren't following up on any Hanzo or Pharah shots. And then by the time they switched over to that Ryan comp, they did not have enough time to build up any ultimates, and they just got snowballed.
Dive definitely does take a lot of coordination to play, especially against a comp like Goats. And not having that means you're not going to do a whole lot, and that was the case in that round. But Lightbringers is going to switch it up on defense, going to opt for some high ground usage with the Genji, D.Va, and Winston. Looks like Breakthrough's going to roll out with the same defense. Not quite. Going to have a Genji instead of a Hanzo.
Yeah, you see Lightbringers go to dive. It's a lot. Goats is a lot better on offense, and it's a lot easier to also switch off of the Goats if it isn't working on offense than it is defense. Where dive is it's a much safer pick, I feel, on this map, especially because of all the high ground and verticality to the map.
Also, with no time limit on the offense, pretty much when they're going for their attack, if the defense is playing goats and all grouped in on the point, eventually something's going to happen if you're playing with enough poke damage. So, going for that more mobile, making use of the high grounds here. Have to see if the Genji switch off from the Hanzo does anything. Looking for some big nano blades here to keep pushes going.
You just need to see the fight between Neuter and Coxbox. See what Neuter can get done on that Winston.
Currently just looking for a good dive target here. Maybe get some Pharah poke in on first, or maybe just walk on the point, force a reaction from Lightbringers. Breakthrough is going to end up jumping onto the high ground, forces the peel back, is going to come back themselves a little bit as the Pharah continues to poke damage in. A lot of members getting about to half HP from Breakthrough, but no actual kills from them means that Coxbox is going to end up clean. And that's just something you never really want to see. That was about 5 members from Lightbringers, 40% HP. Just the focus fire was not there whatsoever.
Yeah, they all got low, and early on in the fight with their dive, you saw Neuter and Rasford get split up from each other, and they couldn't go onto the same targets, which then led to the entire attack getting split up. No real focus fire onto any individual target.
It was a very slow fight already. Only 240 left on. Neuter is going to go in with the D.Va as well, and they are going to immediately blow up the Lucio. So let's see if they can do anything with this. Dork is nanoed currently and picking up a few kills, but the Pharah ult is going to take him down as Dork dashes right into him. Tank still fighting on point. Very extended fight. Neuter does have Winston ult, is going to pop it to keep this alive. But the cleanup from Lightbringers looking to be a bit better than Breakthroughs.
Yeah, Dork got nanoed. He didn't have his blade yet, but he took out both supports in the backline, even deflecting an on a sleep dart. And that really turned around the fight because Lightbringers was losing that fight. But I think Dork, the MVP during that fight, even though he did get blown up by that Pharah.
He did his job before that moment.
Yeah.
Looking for maybe a quick nano blade here on offense with maybe a bomb to initiate, something like that. Needs to happen quick though, as Figs is coming up on his Lucio ult for the counter.
Interesting to see if DPS can get these combos. He goes before the blade is up and gets killed immediately but he does trade for the Ana.
No nano on that blade means the Genji is going to be very easy to focus down, and the nano monkey is doing a little bit of work. Call is going to pick up a kill himself on Coxbox, and Breakthrough slowly winning this fight, but the cleanup needs to be a bit better before some of their targets gets focused down by Lightbringers. A late Lucio beat from Lightbringers. I'm not too sure about that one. I could stand corrected though, as they are picking up a few kills, and now it's starting to go even. Breakthrough's going to have to invest a couple more ults here. We even have Libby swapping over to Lucio to get back to point faster. But the ultimate advantage is definitely in favor of Lightbringers right now, as they do have Pulse Bomb and Blade. If the heals are there, this is go well for Breakthrough. And I think this stall is going to come through just in the end. Possibly. I'm looking for this blade to do a lot of work here. Hasn't popped it quite yet. Is going to get nano bladed, and here comes the damage going in onto the Ana. Is going to pick up that kill after getting the Hanzo and Lucio. And now it's just the tanks left to clean up for Lightbringers. And what came off of what I thought was going to be a very questionable Lucio ult, and going to end up being a full hold here, as the rest of Breakthrough is all coming back.
Yeah, Figs comes up with a huge barrier, and I actually call it bloodthirsty support. Cypher on that Ana gets a kill onto the enemy Mercy, and Figs gets a kill onto the enemy Genji, and they were able to turn that fight around, not to mention that huge Nano Blade coming out, getting, I think, maybe 3, maybe even 4 kills.
That was knowing their capabilities and going in on it when I thought the correct play was going to be the fall back and defend. Lightbringers just says, nah, we're going to clean out this map now, and with a very prolonged fight, it goes up in the series 1-0.
Yeah, I think that Lightbringers overall just had a lot better dives, and they were counter diving very well. You saw the blade come out from the side of Breakthrough, and he got bursted down almost immediately and couldn't get much besides an Ana.
Yeah, definitely just looking for more focus fire from Breakthrough's side to start out the fight betters and even clean it up, because that last fight that lasted about a minute, they were up 2 kills to start that, but were not able to clean it up fast enough before the ults came back for Lightbringers. All right.
Now we are going to moving into the second map pretty soon. Breakthrough does get the next map pick, so we're just gonna wait for that. What is the next? Is it King of the Hill?
Pretty sure it's Koth.
Yeah. So it's between Ilios and Oasis here, and Ilios does offer dive potential. However, I feel like, but it looks like they will be running Oasis here. And Oasis definitely has a lot of dive, so it'll be interesting to see if Breakthrough can fix their focus fire. And I think that honestly, what's separating them from winning that last map is that if they can get that down, I don't see why they can't easily win this Oasis map.
They did start a fair few fights on offense, up a kill, but we're just simply not able to close out the fights. They are going to have to find some sort of means on defense, but that can be saved for halftime, as we are going into Koth right now instead.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Call 911 does pull out that Pharah. Excuse me. Because Pharah is a very good pick on Oasis, and I think always has been. And a couple of the points, I think I always forget the names. I think Garden, and Library.
Garden.
I think is what it is.
Garden.
I think Library. Is Library the one with the hole in the middle, or is it like
the hole in the middle is University.
Okay, University. I always forget the names. University has pretty much since the beginning of Oasis been a Ryan Zarya map, and it has been a favorite of teams to run goats on because it's pretty easy to take high ground control, especially with the Lucio speed boost, and there's not much way for you to get run over not having the high ground control. So it'll be interesting to see if Call 911 does pull out that Pharah again and how much value they can get against that goats, because Pharah does do really good against goats, but only if you can land those rockets.
Oasis does have those 3 maps that are pretty spread out in terms of the comps you can run. You got University for your goats, you got City Center for your more dive-favored map, and then Gardens is somehow a mix in between. I do quite like this map as a whole.
Yeah, I think it's great. And even, yeah, looking at gardens, you can definitely run goats, you can run dive, you can run bunker. I think that garden is pretty much open to all of them. The other two are dive and then goats. So it'll be interesting to see which team has more versatility and which team can take advantage of that.
Maybe the match can start soon. Maybe.
Maybe. It looks like both teams are ready.
I'm unsure what the holdup is.
It looks like we are entering the game.
There we go. All right. So, where are we going to first? Yeah, 2 seconds to guess. Too late. Out on University, this should be easy goats from both sides. Maybe a Pharah though. Interesting.
Yeah, if you do predict the other team is going to run goats, having that Pharah in place of either the Diva or Brigitte, it can be risky because you are missing out on a major component of goats, but it also can be really beneficial. So it'll be interesting. You do see it looks like Lightbringers will be running goats, and Breakthrough is teasing that Pharah. So interesting to see if they do run that alongside the goats and what they put her in place of.
Currently have solo Zen. I'm not super sure about this.
Yeah, usually when you want to run Zen goats, you need that Brigitte and Lucio for the extra heals since they don't really put up much heals. But it'll be interesting to see if Dragonic does go on. Oh, looks like Olibu. Yeah, it looks
all
like
right, we do. All right.
Goats. Yeah.
Okay, so we do have the Ana versus Zen in terms of the flavors of the goats, and Ana obviously looking for the purple, but they need to get that purple and damage in before the Zen Discord blows up a target from Lightbringer. So we'll see how that interaction turns out here. Zarya Bubbles being blown fairly early, and a massive purple is not going to get eaten, and that's just immediately the fight for Lightbringers.
That's the key in Goats v Goats matches is which Ana can pull off the ante, and they were it looks like Lightbringers were able to pull that off. And another thing too is the team running the Zen Goats is missing out on a major part of heals. They do have more damage, but if they can't get as much heals in, so long drawn out fights will go against them.
The fights have to happen immediately, and that doesn't really look like it's happening. The Rhine is discorded, but the Focus Fire is not there, trading Rhines, but unless the Focus Fire continues to be there, it looks like they're continuing to trade back and forth, but the positional advantage is definitely there for Lightbringers right now. Rousfer getting focused down onto point, and that should be the fight. I would like to not see the trickle in here. Is just super extended, possibly saying it's winnable, and it looks like it might be. A good charge is canceled out by the grab. That's a very late Lucio beat, causing the double support ults, but it should be the super win button on capturing this point, and they are going to tick it over.
Yeah, you do see the double support ults out, which can really bite them later on in the game, because those do take quite a bit to charge up. So it'd be interesting to hear what the comms are there on which ones to use.
Shatter does get blocked. Also going to have to block this Diva Bomb. Doesn't do anything. Most of Breakthrough deciding to go into the hole to avoid that Diva Bomb is going to mean the rest of the team that stayed up is going to get immediately melted. And that's going to be the point ticking back over to Lightbringers here after the stall ends here as Brigitte retreats down below, only to get staggered just a little bit more. And but that was both major team fight ults from the grab and the shatter, so having that advantage is huge for taking this point back.
Figs does have his barrier, and you're looking at a grab and shatter coming in. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they use those ults. do they use Shatter to maybe force out B, or do they use Grab to force out B and then win the fight?
They do need to make something happen here quickly, as Dorth is quickly building up to another grab. Same with Coxbox's Shatter. They do get a massive Shatter from Neuter. No kills immediately. D.Va will get demeched eventually, and Coxbox, not having the rest of his team, isn't going to pick up too much with his Shatter. He is Discorded, got to get the Focus Fire down, trading Rhines, and the Zen's going to be chased down by the Zarya Lucio. The grab is going to force out the beat, so those ults are traded like we were talking about, but the fight is still going to go in favor of Lightbringers, and that is going to be University going over to them.
Yeah, and you saw with that huge Shatter coming out from Neuter, there was no Focus Fire after the fact. And it just seemed like, even during GOATS, which most people say, oh, GOATS is kind of brainless, there still needs to be some form of focus in who you are targeting in GOATS. And even when Breakthrough had that ult advantage, it just seemed like they were all fighting different people and no one was really dying, even though they did have that Zen who does provide the extra damage.
Especially when you have the Zen, the focus needs to be there, because the Ana go to win the team fight in the long run.
Yeah, and I think honestly that MVP of that point goes over to Cypher. On the Ana, Cypher kept hitting huge anti-nades against all of Breakthrough, shutting down their entire attack before it could even happen.
Winning the first fight is very crucial in Koth maps, as the rounds are so short. But going into City Center, going to have a Pharah coming in from Lightbringers, but none from Breakthrough. Breakthrough is going to take out Figs, pushing up a little bit too far for his own good, and also the focus onto the D.Va is going to demech her as well, and Breakthrough looking very good to start this point.
Yeah, they're following up on their callouts, and it seems like they are focusing targets a little bit better from the one fight we've seen so far. Neuter with the late pick off onto 2. Interesting to see what they do against that Pharah, because they don't really have any direct counters, whether they try to ignore her and win the ground fight, or send their tanks flying at her to try to pick her off out of the sky.
Ollie getting very low there, is able to escape the Pharah, and Neuter getting low as well is just going to get Nano to heal up.
Can't see any working do here, although the Nano does seem kind of wasted, even though they did save his life. I feel like he could have just backed up for some big heals.
Well, that is going to delay the fight a little bit more. The Tracer Bomb coming in is going to hit the Winston and delay him from coming in a little bit longer. That's going to, the main tank being out is going to allow them to kite back from that Fire ultimate just enough. Gets the Mercy before the res comes through, but Coxbox picking up a ton of kills, not being focus fired down on this Winston. Will the Baby D.Va get back in the mech, manages to pick up the kill on the Coxbox as well, and with a D.Va and a Primal Monkey on point, this is going to be stalled out for a very long time, as the Lucio and Tracer are now back from the beginning of the fight. Is going to get the D-Mech onto Aeon, opts to not use the self-destruct, saving it for later, and that's definitely going to be the call for Lightbringers to call that fight a loss and make for one last attempt here.
Yeah, you see, sorry, my colors are screwed up. You see Lightbringers coming out trying to focus on that point, and you do see them approaching 4 ultimates here, although they are not anywhere near the Nano for Nano Blade. We just need to see what Fishling can get done here.
Well, not having that mech is going to mean that Coxbox is fairly quickly. DPS does manage to pick up the Ana with the Pulse Bomb, but just the ult advantage from Lightbringers there is it should make that point tick over in their favor, and it is going to, but Breakthrough just needs one more fight win to get it over to, and they do have the Nano Blade to do it, but once again, Figs is holding on to that beat.
Beat, especially with new beat where it goes down slightly faster, you can burn through it and get through it, so we just need to see if he can get any kills here to flip over the point.
Breakthrough is going to force Lightbringers onto point, the rest of the squishies up on high ground. The Blade is come out first from Lightbringers, which I was definitely not expecting. Is going to pick up the Ana before the beat even comes down. The beat from Lightbringers, however, is going to counter the Blade fairly well, is going to pick up the Ana as well, but if you press your Q buttons first, you're probably going to win the fight, and that is what Lightbringers did there.
Yeah, I think that's a major mistake some teams make, is that they wait a little too long for the Nano Blade. You had call 911 with the Blade and Dragon Ink with the Nano, and they waited too long. They waited until the fight had gone through, and Dragon Ink got picked off, and they couldn't use the combo anymore. And then Call 911 uses the Blade, meaning they won't have another Nano Blade for probably the rest of the point.
Coxbox jumping in early is going to get purpled fairly immediately and focused down, booped off the map even, but Figs is going to counter with his own boop on the Dragonic, and the Ana being out this early is very bad for Breakthrough. They are going to try to go back to point, focus down what they can, but this Ana on high ground is going to win the fight for them eventually. Cypher retreating back a little bit as Neuter continues to push him out. The Focus Fire good, able to take out the Tracer. The Genji very low, is going to need some heals before you can opt to use that Blade. Neuter is finally going to chase down Fishling, and the Breakthrough slowly winning this fight, but not fast enough to really start taking advantage on this point. They are finally grouped up as a bunch here on the point, looking for the focus here, going for Cypher, and that's going to be a massive pulse bomb stuck onto the Lucio, eventually killing both supports. York does retaliate with their own pulse bomb, and we're going to have dueling blades here with Breakthrough having the Lucio beat. The counter is going to be what should be the fight win for them. I don't think Coxbox can sell for much longer on 0 health. Will the Focus Fire on the Tracer here for Abdork be enough? The rest of Lightbringers coming back in. Neuter immediately chasing Cypher out. You're letting the Ana nowhere near point. The Focus Fire finally comes in on the Tracer, stalling for a very good while, and it didn't take over 96%, meaning that they have to go through overtime, and that might just be enough for Lightbringers to win this here, with the DMAC from the bomb getting a kill on the Tracer. Coxbox picking up the Baby Diva. They're up 6v4 in this fight. Neuter does pick up the Ana, but they're actually going to win this because they took the point at 96%. Ollie doing all he can to live on point, but is eventually going to be taken down. The overtime wick is already going down, and that should be this for Lightbringers. The stall from DPS coming in, but Dork with the pulse bomb.
Wow. Yeah, ridiculous stall coming out from Lightbringers. I honestly, if they would have lost that point, they had like 3 or 4 ultimates that they died with, but they were able to keep that stall going with tank ults and with the Tracer, and they were able to just come back, have those ultimates, you're able to turn around. You see Coxbox here with the play of the game during that final fight, really turning this around for his team.
Everything came down to the fact that Breakthrough had 96%. So even though they won the fight in overtime, Lightbringers had that crucial 3 seconds to get back to point to start a new overtime fight, which they did end up winning.
Yeah, those 3 seconds are huge, and you saw right at the end when they were trying to get onto that point before the 99, you saw Cypher and the Lucio, who I'm forgetting the player name, were rushing, trying to walk past the tanks just to get to the point. And Lucio does get that huge beat off, which allows Cypher to walk onto the point, who then nanoed one of their teammates. And they honestly just had more ultimates at the end of it. They died with ultimates, which almost cost them the game, but they were able to get the stall and came back with 4 ultimates that were huge for them and crucial for them to win the fight.
All right, well, that is the first half of this match between Lightbringers and Breakthrough. Lightbringers up 2-0, but Breakthrough definitely showing signs of life on Oasis. We'll have to see if during halftime some coaching can keep bringing that up out, and we'll get a very competitive second half of this series.
Yeah, it seemed like their target focus was definitely there. And I think I think that's something their coach will say. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but if they can get that target focus, I think that Breakthrough definitely has a chance to pull the reverse sweep here and force this to a map 5.
Well, we'll see if they're able to do that once we come back from halftime. We'll be taking a little bit of a break along with the teams, and we'll see you guys on the other side.
All right, slide here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back with the second half, and it looks like Breakthrough did pick Volskaya. I didn't get a chance to see if they made any substitutions, although I would assume so. Usually, it looks like they had some bench players.
Excuse me. All right. Well, we'll see if they come out with, if either of the teams really come out with anything new. Lightbringers is not going to fix what's not broken, though. Well, maybe they are. Running a Reaper. Maybe on offense. I mean, they're on offense, so they still got a lot of time to change. We'll look at the defensive comp, though, from Breakthrough. Widow Doomfist. With a triple DPS?
It'll be interesting to see if Ollie Whoop switches. Maybe he's jumping off the edge or something. Yeah, it looks like he is. Well, I called it.
All right, you called. Wow. All right, respect. You called that. All right, DPS also jumping off. Are they gonna swap though? Yeah, there's Lucio. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what DPS runs here. The thing is, if Nova might be pulling out the Symmetra to go far left, that is a possibility. Although they might just be messing around in spawn. It'll be interesting to see if they are running goats over on the side of Lightbringers. Hanzo can do a lot of work against, especially on Volskaya. On the first point, there's that room with the little mini and the little hut right in front of the first point. You can sit on top of there and deal a lot of damage without really being contested too much.
All right. Well, if Breakthrough can pull this double sniper comp off, it can definitely do a lot of work. Ollie scouting out, seeing that once again, yes, Lightbringers are running goats as they have been this whole series. DPS getting a few shots in, Duke getting a few shots in as well. That's a big purple onto the D.Va. It eventually does get demeched, and the Rhine kill as well is going to be a first fight win for Breakthrough. But losing that D.Va mech is a very big deal, and also losing the Lucio is kind of a big deal too. They probably need to get a kill here to wrap this up, as they overextended a little bit and ended up losing 2 for it. They will get that kill onto the Lucio, but that is going to be a 5v4 here as soon as the Rhine gets back in. That charge, please don't get hit by this. Thank you, Neuter. Jumps out just in time. Rhine alone on point is going to get Zarya bubbled early before the nade comes out, and the nade after the Zarya bubble is going to mean that Coxbox maybe dies, does die in the end, but Aeon Nova doing a ton of work in the backline is going to take out the Ana and the Widow, and that should be the point going over to Lightbringers.
The long drawn-out fight does benefit goats, and I do think they did overextend, like you said. They kept chasing them. When you're running against goats, even if they lose 2 people, it's usually not a good idea to chase. They have a lot of counters to that chase. And Browsford here, getting incredibly staggered. As an off-chain player myself, I know exactly how that feels. And Lightbringers might just roll straight on into the second point. That D.Va still hasn't respawned, is just now respawning.
They do have Grab here to potentially snowball. The Introsight is going to give them the information on where they're coming from. Neuter getting some initial cleave in, is going to jump back in with the Nano, but this Grav not getting any kills for the moment. Aeon's eventually going to take out DPS instead. The Rhine down 4 goats. This fight should be going into favor of Breakthrough. We are going to see a swap to Mei here fairly quickly. I don't think they really need the stall unless they're planning on sticking on this Mei. The questionable D.Va bomb from Aeon as the fight seems to be lost, or maybe they think they can turn this again, but Hoot taking out Figs and Aeon getting quickly demeched and left to walk off the map is going to be a stabilization for Breakthrough.
Dragonic changing these fights with those nades. On the first point, he was able to get a huge anti-nade onto 2 or 3. Unfortunately, the fight drew out and they couldn't win it, but on that fight right there, he anti-naded the Rhine and he just got blown up by that dragon. And a big dragon too coming through was able to separate the enemy. Look at this spot from Dragonic. I don't think I've ever really seen that actually. It does leave yourself exposed, but they are running goats, so there's nothing that can really punish him.
That's very interesting up on that little corner there. I haven't seen that either. Well, Neuter is going to go in, get that initial cleave, even popping Primal here to possibly maybe get an Enviro kill. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, but the Rhine.
Yeah.
The Ryan gets separated a little bit, and Coxbox going down is going to be the end of this fight. Sticking with the Mei here for DPS, does have that cleave freeze now as a recent buff. Hasn't been able to super utilize that because Goats rolls in so fast, but doing a decent amount here right now.
Yeah, those ice walls, if DPS can get those big ice walls, you see Neuter switch over to the Reinhardt, but if Mei can get those big ice walls, you can see Goats really just get shut down. And even that cleave freeze can slow down Goats and deal with a lot of their, and stop a lot of their strength. So the ice wall coming in.
There's the ice wall, easy charge onto Coxbox. A very well-timed Anna-nade with the charge is going to purple all 4 members that were stuck there for Lightbringers, and that's going to be another fight win for Breakthrough, doing a very good job here with the Mei. Lightbringers haven't shown a lot of counterplay to it so far. They are coming up on a lot of ults though, possibly 6, but the same can be said for Breakthrough.
Yeah, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know how to carry on Ana, just look at Dragonite here. Those anti-nades honestly are winning them the fights, I think, because going against Goats is a lot of HP and a lot of healing, and they can't heal if they're getting anti-naded.
Alright, well, if we go through main, we're gonna get walled, so let's all group up on the one platform, and hopefully the main's not here in time to wall it off.
I've seen it like 3 times, and every single time they've gotten moved off by Lucio, but it looks like Ollie wasn't there in time.
A nano on the Brigitte is going to skillfully run in and left click, but getting grabbed into the blizzard means a lot of people's going to be frozen very quickly. Fig somehow still alive after that freeze, but the massive Diva Bomb as everyone's getting out of blizzard from Rousfer is going to be the fight win. And losing a fight that you dumped 5 ults into is a real feels bad from Lightbringers.
And over on the side of Breakthrough, they still have a Hanzo and Ana ult. That charge from Neuter, they actually got unfrozen right as the Diva Bomb went off, but Neuter charged the enemy Reinhardt, meaning they didn't have a shield to hide behind.
That's a very, very well coordinated with the Diva Bomb in there. Breakthrough showing signs of life with that coordination that we weren't seeing them from a Numbani, and had a little bit of life on Oasis, seems to finally be coming into fruition on the 3rd map of the series.
They counter that Goats well, and they're so... Lightbringer says, okay, we'll pull out our dive then, that we really haven't seen that much so far in series.
Really force this Mei here to do a lot of work if she wants to get any sort of value against the Pharah and the Genji mobility. That wall onto the Winston, if they can get the freeze here, that should be the pickoff, and it is. So already 65, and that's going to be the call to back up before they feed any more ult charge. Diva getting not as low as I thought she was, but Genji barely escaping with 50 HP.
I would like to see that Mei switch off, even though Ice Wall did get that kill onto the Winston. Mei just doesn't do much against dive, especially on a place with this guy with a lot of vertical mobility around the point. And it doesn't look like he will be switching, so it'll be interesting to see if he does get run over, or if he can make the Mei work against this dive.
Does want that one last ult is going to get off of the Mei here. Definitely don't die out here, Ollie. Overextending a little bit too much as he's been doing throughout the game. Gets punished for it this time, and without the Lucio to peel, the Nano Winston jumping in is going to kill the Ana for Breakthrough as well, and they are eventually just going to be wiped up here. DPS does going to have the Blizzard, but gets killed before Snowball even comes out of her hands, so that should be the point going over to Lightbringers here. Possibly some stall coming out from Breakthrough as the Lucio beat didn't do a whole lot. Dragonite just running on the point to stall is going to die very quickly. The Tracer coming out, the Hoot, that's a big shatter, is going to charge off the map with the Lucio. I'm not sure that was the best use of that, but the Diva Bomb takes up 3.
Rouse from the Diva Bomb, and when you have that Winston as your main tank, there's no shield to block shatters or Diva Bombs to burst that barrier. And Rouse for back-to-back game-changing ultimates in those fights.
We do have to talk about the 4 ults in here coming through Lightbringers. They weren't able to use those to clean up the fight because they got shattered into bombs fairly quickly. I don't know what they're going to be able to do with the Nano here from Dragonic. Hoot is going to swap over to the Genji, not the Genji, the McCree, possibly blow someone up very quickly. DPS with the Oh, that's a Pharah ult, gets a little bit before getting blocked out there. Doomfist not able to get as many kills as he'd like, and the ult advantage is going to end up winning Lightbringers that fight, and they are going to complete Bull Sky up, but it was a very close one.
That was an overtime. So you see Breakthrough pulling out a much, much, much better performance than before half. I think that the halftime talk with their coach really made a difference. And if they do finish with over a minute here, then they have a chance to pull the map. And even if they don't win the map, they can get that tie, which will be a major improvement from the previous maps.
They do need to win the map, though, to still have a chance in the series. With a draw, the best they can do is lose 1-2. So, definitely looking to get a reasonable amount of time left on the clock with this offense to still cap point A quickly. Going to be having our tried and true goats. No, going to run double sniper with a Ryan Zarya front line. And is this Bastion Symmetra Pharah comp? No, that's on offense. That's not real.
I want to see it. I want to know.
It's not real.
We gotta have faith. We gotta have faith. Too, look, he's setting up at the door. Listen, they're gonna teleport left, go up on top, and just shred with that Bastion. I have faith. I have faith they're gonna keep it, and I have faith they're gonna win with it.
All right. Well, you called the Doomfist diving off the side of the map along with the Widow before, so I'll trust you on this. They're gonna not keep the Pharah though. Gonna have the Lucio for the speed and the AoE heals, very important. But looks like you are correct. It is the Bastion Symmetra coming over. So it's all about how fast Lightbringers can sniff this out.
This is what I love to see. I love to see these strats. And besides Hanzo, Lightbringers doesn't have much in the way of shield break. You can get that Bastion really... Oh, but falls off the map.
Oh no.
They're still gonna put... They have to push in now. I don't know if they...
Yeah, they still have to
they have the Bastion and...
the Bastion walks out first and is immediately going to get blown up for it. And now they're trapped in here with the Widow shooting through the door.
And Rasper overextends. Will maybe get deneked here, although he might get out. Rasper does escape. You can't say much the same for Neuter. I think they... Yeah, who says something along the lines of "Don't fault us for trying." But I liked the try. I think they got unlucky. Sometimes when you come out of that teleporter, you can walk the wrong way and just fall off the map. And their Bastion did walk out in front of the Rhine shield, which was another mistake.
So they are going to run double sniper. I'm not too sure about that. Is going to get immediately picked off. The Genji I like a little bit more with the Winston and the Diva, but they are going to have to back up a little bit as one of their main DPS is down. And this is a lot of time shaved off the clock, and Breakthrough hasn't done anything. Also, their ult charge is very low, and granted, Lightbringer's ult charge isn't great either because there hasn't been a lot of combat, but they do have the slight advantage.
And we're 2 minutes in, and there hasn't really been a fight, I wouldn't even say. Sights coming up for a Widow, can just see what they're setting up.
Maybe a nanoed monkey could do a lot here with the lack of ults from either side. Have to see if that's what they go for. He does jump in onto the Hanzo. Hanzo with the mobility does run away for a moment, but not before getting chased down by the Diva with the second bit of mobility. Is going to get Nano to heal up a little bit. The Shatter does pick up 2 of the 200 HP heroes, and that's going to be absolutely huge for Lightbringers and potentially winning this fight. Dork, living barely, is going to take out the Genji, and now with no one to focus down the Widow on low HP is going to clean up the rest of the fight, and it looks like Lightbringers is going to be defending for now. They do eventually pick up the Widow, however, and with the Primal Rage to stall and the spawn advantage for the attack, imagine that Breakthrough eventually wins this fight. The focus needs to be here, though, and Fishling, though, popping off, is going to get a few kills before going down to the Genji, and Breakthrough is going to have the call, soft reset, hopefully go in before the Hanzo gets back. Neuter is kind of alone, not getting fired down right now, using the Winston bubble very well, is going to stay alive for a bit in time for his Ana to get back, but it looks like the Hanzo is coming back very soon. Breakthrough needs to make something to happen now, but that Nano Ryan is possibly going to stop it. Not quite, though. The Nano-bladed Genji is going to take out the Nano Ryan, chasing down the Hanzo as well. Should go down here pretty quickly to the Hanzo as well, and Breakthrough is going to finally clean up a fight without losing anybody.
Just a long, really long drawn-out fight. I think really good play from Neuter. He used his ult to stall a little bit, backed up and went in at the right times, knowing they had that spawn advantage to push in. They killed the Hanzo and they were able to push in with the 5v6, were able to turn that around with a huge blade coming out from DPS.
That soft reset was very well called by Breakthrough there to go in while the Hanzo was still coming back out. We got the pick, let's not die, and we got this. So, poking in on the first point here, still with the dive against the Rhine, is going to come into onto this Widow. She's forced the point immediately, but gets onanated and healed, and the damage is not going to be there to clean up quite. Neuter is going to ult at low HP, but Ollie getting swung on by Cox is going to go down. Aeon goes down without using grab, but the Shatter should be enough to clean up this fight here with Lightbringers. Major spawn advantage. I do not see Breakthrough getting any more out of this fight.
Lightbringers only using 2 ultimates. They're the Widow sites, which that's not really a game-changing ultimate in itself. And the Shatter, they still have the big Grab Dragon combo, Beat and Nano. So we need to see if Rousfer can get this E, or if they will pull off a huge Grab Dragon. Now there is no defensive ult on the side of Breakthrough either. If I was Breakthrough, I would just call dry push right now, force out ults, force out their combo, and then just go again.
Really don't have any other option besides to do a dry push here. I would expect them to stick with this comp throughout the rest of the game, as that would have been the time to swap. So they need to make something happen now. They are gonna make Lightbringers use the grab. Hold on to Dragons though, possibly to split the Ana away from her team onto this next push. And winning a fight with only one ult used is a very good feeling.
Yeah, Breakthrough just keeps getting picked off early by that double sniper comp. It's interesting seeing this double sniper comp get so much work done against dive. Usually you'd see DPS, Neuter, and Rousfer just dive onto that Widow or Hanzo and burst them down. I'd like to see Hoot swap over to a flanker DPS, maybe a Sombra, a Tracer, Doomfist, or something to help out with that dive. I think they're just missing a tiny bit of damage.
Yep, not being able to get the value himself. Neuter getting bursted down very quickly. And the Nano coming out onto Coxbox. Nano coming out on the Hoot is going to eventually counter that Nano grind. But once again, the kite back from Lightbringers is very good on this dive from Breakthrough. And neither of the snipers are going to go down. And that is another quick fight win for Lightbringers.
Yeah, Breakthrough seems kind of lost now. They are approaching 5 ultimates. But they're going to be going against that Dragon and Beat. However, it looks like Lightbringers did switch over to the Winston Diva. Kind of interesting considering the fact they were winning those fights pretty easily with the Ryan.
Maybe looking to clean up the Ana and Hanzo from Breakthrough that much faster. The Lucio B is going to come down, gets all members of Breakthrough. Lightbringers are going to counter with their own. They are currently fighting the 65 as Dork went down early, going to come out as Ashe, very interesting, but Aeon cleaning up this fight very well. The focus from Lightbringers is definitely here as Breakthrough is all going to go down cleanly.
Good discipline from the rest of Breakthrough, not using their ultimates when the fight was lost, especially DPS. I could tell watching him that there was a time when he did want to go for that blade. However, the early pickoff on their Coxbox, if they regroup quickly here, they have a chance of pushing in on a 5v6. However, spawn-wise, I don't know if they're going to do.
Well, Coxbox backed up means they're going to be able to walk through the door without the Winston pressure. A quick Diva Bomb is going to take out 2 squishies, and you're up 6v4. You gotta start triggering ults now to clean up this fight very quickly. Focus down the Nano Winston isn't quite there before he's taking out Dragonic, and with the main source of heals down, I don't know if Breakthrough is going to be able to pull this through. Aeon once again picking up a few kills. Dork coming back out of spawn after getting initially killed is also going to get one, and that's going to be Breakthrough winning a fight that looked very bad to start. And you have to look at the ultimate still up for Breakthrough and think, why were they not popped immediately to try and win that fight faster?
They did get those 2 kills with that Diva Bomb early on, but I still think they should have led with that Nano Blade. I think that would have made a difference, knowing Fix didn't have it. And Neuter gets picked off early, going in a little bit too earlier than needed.
This blade has to be the blade that pierces the heavens and swung onto a monkey that eventually has Primal Rage. It's going to do nothing. They do not have their main tank here. Neuter even popping Primal Rage to get back to point faster, but the rest of the team is going to fall as that happens. Neuter's going to bash around Bob for a little bit of fun at the end, and Lightbringers is going to hold on Volskaya, winning the map 2-1 and winning the series as they are up 3.
Yeah, it seemed they had such a good defense, and it's a little bit. Rasper with those huge diva bombs. I just think they were a little too scared sometimes to pop those ultimates. I think because we see one of those huge diva bombs. I think going into that final fight, they should have nano bladed to start. I think they were a little too hesitant in using those, which might have costed them some of those fights that were pretty even.
Gotta pop everything, have to make it happen. Overwatch is about being proactive, and not capitalizing off those 2 kills from the Diva Bomb is going to cost them the map there.
Yeah, I think when you're attacking on offense and you have a big combo like Nano Blade, yes, Rasper gets the 2k, but you just need to kill what's on point and get the point. And
you need to cash it all in. Gotta
they need to
cash
cash
it
it all in. They get those early 2 kills, and I would have liked to have seen him Nano Blade directly after to clean up the last 4, but they just seemed a little too scared. And then Dragonic trying to pop that nano before he dies. I don't know who he popped it over to, but I would assume not the Genji because he still didn't blade. And DPS had a blade for like 2.5 minutes there, and he didn't use it until the very end on a 1v6 trying to save the point.
Also, have to shout out Aeon. Gotta believe the shot calling is coming from them, as a lot of these cleanups have them all over the kill feed.
Very true. Honestly, Lightbringers just seemed a lot more put together on that defense. Breakthrough had a great defense, but on their offense, they seemed split up again. And it looks like we'll be going over to Rialto for the final map of the series. Now, Breakthrough can't pull this back anymore. However, they can get a map win. I think they've had 2 on the season so far.
They
so
have.
I think it would be great for their confidence if they can pull one back and get a map win on Rialto here.
Also, gotta mention Lightbringers in a very tight map differential race needs every map possible, so this game is still important.
Yeah, they definitely shouldn't take this lightly. Lightbringers lightly. Anyway,
you could have just kept going.
I could have just kept
point it out. You didn't need to point it out.
But yeah, so Aeon Nova getting switched out here for Karo. Are they? I know we don't allow Smurfs. They are level 21. Possible they are new to PC or new to Overwatch in general and decided to join the team early on to get better. If that's the case, then good for them, getting better from the start. But interesting to see. I don't think they've been in the series yet. What they play and how they do.
Well, they are swapping out that universal diva role that Aeon has been playing this whole time. So Diva's just such a good and versatile hero. You expect to see her constantly. So I assume that's what we see from Karo, but maybe they've got something spicy.
It's possible. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do miss out on that shot calling slightly. But yeah, sorry, I'm trying to check to see what's happening in the chat.
Yep.
Looks like everything's good. And so yeah, we'll be rolling over into this last map here. It doesn't look like Breakthrough will be making any swaps, or did they swap in Libby Cat? I think I missed that.
I believe that happened.
Okay, yeah. So it looks like they swapped
Ollie out.
Ollie Whip and Libby Cat. So interesting to see what Libby Cat can provide for over on that support role. And with that swap, maybe they have some sort of special strategy design having Libby Cat in. But it'll be interesting to see.
We have a whole lot of variety from either of the teams, to be completely honest. We've got goats, we've got some dive, and then double sniper. Nothing super spicy coming out. So I don't think we'll be seeing anything anything surprising on Rialto. I do see some Orissas favored, but I don't think we're going to see any of Orissa today.
Yeah, I think both teams have shown they can run the goats. Breakthrough not as much as Lightbringers. I wouldn't see a world in which Breakthrough would want to run the Orisa, because Orisa can get pretty run over by the goats. Just speed boost, wait for her to put down her shield, just speed boost past it. And it looks like they are taking their pause. I did see DPS get removed from the custom game. I don't know if something happened. Um, so it looks like they're taking their 10 minutes of pause time they have to get their player back.
All right then. Well, I'm not super keen on talking for 10 minutes. So cool.
All right, so looks like we'll be taking a break while we wait for Sad Widow main, aka DPS, to get back in this. So
All right, so
back as soon as that's ready. Sly here.
I am here, and
Okay.
we are here, going into map 4.
All right. Yeah. So, yeah, it looks like we'll be finally going to Gialto. I don't know what happened with DPS, but looks like
Just
they're
having
back. Everything's
some Overwatch bugs, game freeze, possibly something like that. Maybe had to restart computer.
yeah, it's possible. But we are entering Rialto now. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. You definitely can pull out that Orisa, even the Roadhog, especially after his recent buffs on this first point to hold that bridge. But the problem is, if the other team runs goats, they can just barrier, bubble, eat the pole, and just speed boost past this bridge and really get through with no problem. So it'll be interesting to see if a team does try to run the Orisa, although I wouldn't really expect it.
Yeah, I don't expect that from either of these teams right now. Kiro coming in, gonna play the diva that Aeon was playing, so just gonna try to spread out the experience a little bit on the Lightbringer side. Gonna have some fun with the Ashe, possibly. Ashe, very interesting hero, and my opinions of her can kind of be summed up of why not Hanzo?
Yeah, I think Ashe. I agree to an extent. I think Ashe can get a lot of work done. Her dynamite can get a lot of burn damage, and she can. Although we're looking here at Lightbringer, or sorry, Breakthrough, pulling out the goats when that was Lightbringer's MO, and they are hiding this left room, pulling out the Finland strat. Be interesting to see if they can win this fight, and if they do, whether they decide to stay here or back up.
All right, well, let's see what they can do. Gonna wait as long as possible. All of Breakthrough gonna get on the payload, and here they come in. Will the focus be there? No purple that I can see. Dork is going to end up off the map somehow. Coxbox very low is going to be taken down. Fishling also very low, seems to have retreated just in time. While they do win, Breakthrough does suffer some casualties.
Yeah, I like to see Breakthrough back up right now. They are down to Brigida, which is a major component. Like, until they stay here, they will be fighting a 5v6, and Neuter does charge in.
The purple to immediately punish that. Fishling with the flank, though, is going to take out Dragonic, which should end this spawn camp right now. It seems like Breakthrough is planted here until they die, though. So I don't think they'll be able to get any more kills, especially without the purple. Maybe get Fishling very low, is not able to pick him off at the end. The Brigitte has arrived now, and wow, Lightbringer is gonna pop Nano to get out of spawn. The double boop coming in from Figs, and that's finally gonna be this broken. A good minute 10 shaved off the clock.
And because I guess they did fight so close, they will get another fight. However, Ralphford getting things off late, they will get another fight, and they will be pushing in with that grab beat and Brig ult. And over on this side of Lightbringers, you have pretty much 4 ults coming up.
Yep, if the fight doesn't happen immediately, I can see Lightbringers very easily winning this. The barrier already down for Neuter should be a free shatter. Oh, the bomb shatter is going to take out Hoot as he turns around his shield to face the bomb. Coxbox charging way deep in there is going to eventually get picked off, but that should have created enough space for them to payload. Not in time though, as Neuter charges in. Sleeping is going to be Hanzo ulted. Bomb forcing Lightbringers back, but Bob coming in along with Beat. Neuter doing all he can to shield against Bob, but Bob does put out a decent bit of damage. He should be jumping out of here fairly soon, as he does. Charge coming in from Neuter, not able to pick up everyone. Kiro does get demech though, and it seems like Breakthrough might have stabilized just in time. I spoke a little bit too soon. The Ana being down is absolutely huge. Neuter also getting slept. No shield for a bit means the rest of Breakthrough is going to have to deal with Lightbringers pushing up on them. The Nano coming in on point as well. Ryan swinging around. Neuter not able to counter with the Shatter, and Lightbringers is going to eventually win this very grindy fight with about a minute left on the clock. Wow, they're pouring Nano and Grab into this. Oh, are they doing this? Oh,
and DPS Ralphford and Dragon Nick pull it back with DPS with the 4K. That is absolutely insane. Right here is such a weird part of the map because defenders actually have the spawn advantage, and they took advantage of that, kept that going. Dragonix sitting on the bridge dishing out major heals, and they're able to pull that back with a huge nano onto the high end. Absolutely
apparently
insane.
did a lot as Baby Diva. I'm sad I missed that, but Lucio and Livy and Neuter backing up into a dragon means they're going to go down. The bomb does pick up one, and with another kill, they're not terribly behind. We'll have to see if they can stall for long enough to win here, but without the Diva bomb to stall, I doubt that's going to happen. Neuter comes back in with his shield. Brigitte trying to get back there in time. Libby's going to go down. Neuter trying to stay up. Rouser eventually goes down, not able to get their mech back in time, and it looks like Lightbringers is finally going to win this here. I do not believe there is enough miracles left to full hold a well cap .1 finally in OT.
Seems they ran out of miracles, but holding them all the rest of the series has been pretty much in Lightbringers' favor, and Breakthrough with great defense, holding them all the way until the overtime on the first point. I think great job from them, great stall, and they're approaching their grab once again, and they're gonna have 5 ultimates in this next fight, going up against almost 6 ultimates on the side of Lightbringers though.
Fishling just oh no. Uh-oh. Oh, Bob bumping everyone up, down. That's an interesting combo I haven't seen. Coxbox trying to shatter Bob as the rest of them get pushed up, and Bob taking out 3. And the big takeaway from that fight is Libby died in Dragon while trying to beat
That was a little bit unlucky, and you see the Bob Shatter combo. I have seen that before. It's a pretty good combo to put into place. It takes the place of a TNT Shatter. The fight starts here. Big Nino coming out.
Coxbox Purple trying to get focused down immediately will possibly go down. Yep, Neuter is going to clean up that kill, and with the grab as well, Breakthrough stabilizing. Rousford not in mech is going to have to try and get that back as quick as possible before this. But Lightbringers is not going to allow him to get the poke to make it happen.
Yeah, you see on the side having goats, you do have those big game-changing ults. You have the Shatter, you have Graviton. However, on the side of Lightbringers, you really only have the V and the Shatter for this big fight with ultimates.
Dork on a very big freaking far.
Looks like they do scout it out. Fights happening on the ground, and Dork's really contested.
Coxbox getting nanoed in the middle of everyone, swinging, trying to pick up some kills. Doesn't get any kills, but does get a 3 shatter as everyone's lined up for it. Rousford does pick up one with the bomb. Neuter charging. Coxbox is going to pick up a kill, and Shattering as well is going to clean up the fight. And with only 15 seconds left, it's going to be very tough for Lightbringers to get a real fight here in with the stall.
Yeah, and they are pretty close to that barrage, but I don't see a good barrage happening against a D.Va and a Zarya and a Ryan. They all can block roll in some way. Looks like Lucio and Hammond are able to touch.
Yep, they do touch. Lucio gets focused down very quickly, but not before the Pharah goes down to the Brigitte. A little bit interesting to see that. The Ana does go down, however, so the healing's not there, but it doesn't look like the numbers are there for Lightbringers either, as having to rush the point like that means they took some heavy damage and casualties to start, and Breakthrough with a very good defense on Rialto.
Yeah, they managed their ults very well, got some stall out, and overall, honestly, when Breakthrough has run their goats, it's looked very well. It's looked like they know what they're doing, and it looks like they have the players for goats. It's interesting to see in the future, since this is the last game of the series, whether they decide to run that more with the last game of the season next week, because it does seem like that is a strong suit of theirs.
Yep, goats. Probably, as much as people hate it, should be the first comp that you play to get used to playing in a team environment, as it is one of the easier ones to coordinate.
Yeah, as an off-tank player, a lot of people hate goats, but I personally enjoy it, and I think I like the changes that are coming in. I think goats should be a meta, but I think it shouldn't be as strong. Goats is pretty strong as is. But yeah, I definitely agree with it being a good comp when you're first learning how to play in a team, especially in a season like this where they necessarily haven't gotten the map wins that they we were expecting or wanted. It's a good way to regroup, learn how to play as a team, and when next season comes around, they can be a lot better.
Well, Lightbringers once again going to run that Ashe. See if they can make it work a little bit better than it did last round. They are not going to go for the spawn camp as Breakthrough did, so we'll see. It looks like they're going to just let him go across the bridge as well here, set up at the top with the treehouse.
Yeah, I think that's actually a smart strat, especially if you think they're letting their Sombra scout it out, actually, waiting in spawn, waiting for the call out, and it looks like their Sombra's making the call, and they are swapping to goats, full-on goats. With a Bastion.
Actually, no, they're swapping the Bastion. All right, well, we'll see how well this goes for them. Got to get that Bastion on the payload. He does get up there, not up there in time. As wow, how did that pull only the Bastion?
You know, sometimes it's best not to question it, and marvel in the fact that this treehouse setup is definitely a great idea coming out from the Orisa. A big problem with the Orisa is that teams can just walk past your barrier, but when you set up high ground, they really can't do that.
I was possibly worried about the fact that they weren't going to play on the bridge and possibly get any environmental kills, but Coxbox proves me wrong and shuts down the Bastion strat before it even really begins. Neuter barely dodging that, and they are going to run up on this Orisa. Shield placed once again, but a massive purple from on high is going to mean that with no heals, Breakthrough is going to slowly be focused down here. They do get the D-Mech, which is very important. Need to get out before giving too much more ult charge over to that baby D.
I'd like to see Breakthrough here instead of, and Dragon after late calls at least that could actually be huge for him. Instead of going across the main bridge, maybe go around right or left and wrap around to the high ground and drop down on top of them. I think that would be a good play. Although they do switch to the dive when I say that.
Pushing into the Orisa does feel pretty fruitless at times. Hero finally going to get back into mech after a very long stint as the baby, but they do go around right as you suggested, but the Orisa supercharger is going to make a lot of this damage very effective. The Dork, separated from the rest of the team, is going to be taken out by the Tracer. Hero also not ulting, opting not to ult, probably maybe because they somehow knew that Fishling was going to get a 3k down that corridor with the dragons. And that's going to be another cleanup for Lightbringers, and is starting to look a little desperate here for Breakthrough as the payload is rolling all the way back to the bridge.
I think that Breakthrough really just needs to get into the face of that Ashe or Hanzo and just burst them down. I feel like the target focusing can burst them there, and as I say that, they do jump in and kill them. They are going to be just taken apart by that Hanzo Ashe.
They did focus everything onto the baby Diva, which is probably not the most high priority target you want, and the rest of them are going to get picked off as they kind of slinky their way over to that baby Diva.
Yeah, that double sniper coming out from Dork and Fishling is just tearing them apart. It seems like double sniper is a problem for Breakthrough. They had a problem with the Widow Hanzo earlier in this series before. So interesting to see if in this last fight or two they make the change, kill one of them.
Well, Dork is kind of separated, is going to eventually pull back to the team here. Neuter just running straight at Dork is going to eventually take them down, and with the beat as well, these ults looking to be proactive with them. This is what we did not see on Volskaya. Going to pick up another kill, maybe pick up another kill here onto the Hanzo. Not going to quite do it as the Dragon picks up a very late kill on the Ana. Fishing with a 3k is going to probably end this fight, as the rest of Breakthrough just needs to live long enough for the rest of their team to get back here. But that late kill onto Neuter, without their main tank, I do not see Breakthrough getting back to the point. Hoot is on point with the Tracer, but 1v6 is going to be focused down pretty quickly. Possibly fight it here. Rouseford trickling in, and that should be the map 4 of Rialto going over. I spoke too soon. Neuter makes it. That's another Dragon. Oh, Dragon from Breakthrough side forces them all off point. We got the Hanzo and Lucio on here. The Tracer makes it back in time, so both a little too soon. Libby on literally 1 HP. Anyone touch him? How is he living so long? He's going to live long enough for the Hanzo to get nanoed, and somehow, against all odds, this fight is still going on. Rouseford even makes it back to the fight. Libby eventually being taken down. The bomb from Rouseford is going to pick up Dork. Hero goes out of mech as well, and just now with the Orisa left, this fight's gone long enough for a second Hanzo ult to come out from Fishling. Does not pick up any kills like the last two has, but he's going to pick up a kill onto his counterpart of DPS, and the cleanup is going to be here for Lightbringers. I did not expect to have to talk for another 30 seconds in that fight, but Lightbringers ends up bringing it home on map 4.
Okay, so you pulled out the pun too. But yeah, we almost got the full, like, the series of stalls. There was that crazy stall in Nubani, there was a stall out on Oasis, there was a stall out on Volskaya, and we almost saw another one out here. It did last a long time. They came so close to turning that around, but I think because of all the point win, or the fight wins, that Lightbringers just had slightly more ultimates to turn that fight in their favor.
Excellent.
I mean, it's honestly amazing that Breakthrough even had a second chance at life in that OT. But, well, Lightbringers doing the business they needed to do to stay in the race for playoffs, winning 4-0 over Breakthrough.
Yeah, and those 4 maps will be huge for them in that fight for second place, maybe even first if Alpine Wolves does lose one of their maps. However, at the time, it looks like it will be between them and Toxic Storm for that second place. So definitely a huge pickup getting that 4-0.
All right. Well, that, despite it being a 4-0, there's still a lot of entertainment to be had in that series. Got to cast some very long fights. Did not expect to be talking that long consecutively for some of them.
Yeah, there were definitely those fights did drag on a very long time, and that could have honestly been detrimental to some of the teams. You know, sometimes you really just need to hit that hard reset and just go again. But it seemed like they would get picked off a couple, and they would just keep trickling in, which gives the enemy team a ult advantage, which might be part of the reason why Breakthrough had such a disadvantage when it came to ultimates.
But we did see some great turnarounds from both teams in those fights that we thought was over on the Bonnie with that Lucio beat from Lightbringers, and also on Rialto from Breakthrough with the Nano Zarya into Grav and a Baby Diva managing to get a team wipe.
Yeah,
Not
definitely.
something I expected to see.
Yeah, a lot of just great plays coming out from both teams. And even though the scoreline was 4-0, I think early on it definitely was favored towards Lightbringers, but I think Breakthrough definitely turned that around. And I think honestly it was just a great series from both teams coming out.
Very, very enjoyable to watch. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed it as much as we did. That's going to be all from us today, and we will see you guys next time for more Overwatch Pretenders.
All right, see you guys.